Hey guys, so today we're going to be breaking down LF Zenkai Grade 8 Vegeta. We also have that free-to-play Final Form Frieza as well, and I think we have some new equipment to talk about too, so this is actually a decent week in terms of updates without getting new units, of course. And by the way, I do think that next week is when we should be getting the Part 2 banner for Legends Fest, which I believe should just be one LF, plus hopefully a bunch of 1% characters. I don't want to see the thing where they give us one LF and one sparking and call it a day. It's not. We're not in middle school anymore. Okay, we can handle the big banners here. We can do it. Trust me. All right. So let's talk about Great Ape Vegeta here. Now, I made a video yesterday talking about the different things that I would like to see out of this guy's Zenkai Awakening. And actually, it's pretty funny. If you look at the Twitter preview for this character, they actually do mention a lot of the things that I talked about in my video. So that's pretty good to see. So I'm actually going to go into this breakdown here a little bit optimistic about this character. So let's go ahead and pump his stats up. Remember, we are going to have to subtract 13,000 because of his arts boost. All right, so looks like he's going to be high 280s. So he's going to be at 287,000 strike attack. Obviously, that's pretty good. It's not what we used to see with these LF Zenkais where they had like this is basically what they would have had in terms of the offensive stats is 300,000 in their main offense. But yeah, I'll take 287. That's fine. And then for defenses, he's pretty much going to be at 190 for both, which is very solid. So I'll take those. All right, and of course, as usual, I always forget to let me do this right now. I always forget to pull up the character's original kit in the background here. That's okay. We can just take 2 seconds and pull them up. Okay, I got them pulled up here, so we can tell what changes between the Zenkai and the original kit. All right, so this is obviously the same. That's fine. All right, so the blue card is the Blazing Gallic Gun. Massive damage. Okay, they actually did bump this up from 15 to 20. That's actually exactly what I said in my video yesterday. I said the only thing I could really see them changing about this is changing the 15 to 20%, and they did. Falling effects occur on hit, shortens sub count to self by 5. Cannot be stacked, that's the same. And this is new. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade minus 15% to health restoration for 10 counts. That is new. That was not on this before. Okay, we'll take it. I really don't see them changing anything about this green card. If it is, it's going to be very, very insignificant. Okay, so applies the following effects to self upon activation, 40 key, and then 50 key recovery for 10 counts. That's the same. Applies the following effects to self on hit, draws a special move arts card next, activates twice. Wow, they actually changed that from once to twice. I said in my video yesterday, I was like, if they really wanted to buff this like a decent amount, they could change that to 2 times, and they actually did. I'm actually very surprised they did that. 20% damage inflicted for 20 counts, and then he gets... Oh my god! Cover null for 10 counts? That went up from 5 to 10. Okay. Honestly, I didn't even consider that they would do that. But they sure did. They definitely did. This is a ridiculous green. This is insane. This green card is ridiculous. Okay, sure. His ultimate. The Saiyan Rage Blaster. Massive impact damage, and then he is getting minus 100% enemy sustained damage cut effects for 3 counts, and he is nullifying endurance. Cancels attribute downgrades. That is new, actually. Which I'm not really sure it's going to do a ton, but it's something else that they didn't have to do, so I'll take it. I'm actually already very impressed with the changes they've made to this guy. All right, let's move on to his main ability. I don't think they're going to make anything too different here. Let me just see what the original one was. Oh, yeah, for this one, I wanted them to make the ultimate damage uncancelable. 20. Yeah, okay, they actually made this change, too. They went from 15% health to 20% health. That's also a change that I mentioned. And key by 40. Oh, they did make it uncancelable. 60% to ultimate damage inflicted for 20 counts cannot be canceled. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to see because, again, we have a lot of units now in the game that are going to be canceling buffs and attribute upgrades when you use, blue cards or ultimates. So the fact that they made this uncancelable means that this guy is going to be hitting characters even that have those abilities pretty hard with the ultimate. They did not make the additional 20% ultimate damage when fighting a Saiyan or Sun Family character different or uncancelable, but that's fine. Honestly, it's fine. All right, so his Z ability, we already know this. Now, Zenkai ability, I think we have two options here. Option number one is going to be Powerful Opponent. That's honestly what I would want to see on this character, is Powerful Opponent. I think it's the most expansive one besides Saiyan, of course. And then the second one would just be Saiyan. And the reason why I would even advocate for this is just because we don't even have another red Saiyan Zenkai buffer besides the original Super Saiyan Goku. And that Goku only buffs one stat with his Z ability, which is not ideal. But Powerful Opponent or Saiyan are my bets here. Vegeta Clan would be terrible. And then obviously Frieza Force would also be pretty bad. Okay, it is Powerful Opponent. That's really good. Yeah, that's good. Powerful Opponent continuing to get really strong Zenkai characters is really, really good. Okay, let's move on to the unique abilities here. 40% damage inflicted against Element Blue. That was already there. He gets 25% damage inflicted against Tag Saiyan or Sun Family. So that changes from character Goku. It used to be just character Goku. Now it's Saiyan or Sun Family. Obviously a lot more of an expansive roster of characters that covers now, which is obviously very good. Reduces damage received from Tag Saiyan or Sun Family by 15%. That used to just be Sun Family. So you had a character like Vegeta. Like you're fighting against an enemy Vegeta. It wouldn't count against him, but now it does. So that's good. Extra damage reduction against more characters. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts. 80% damage, 35% to reduce damage received. That's the same. 30... Oh, they actually changed this too? I mentioned this as well in my video. This goes from 20% damage inflicted to 30% damage inflicted when this character switches to standby. And the reason why that's significant is because now it's only going to take the character 2 switch outs to get his full buff, to get his full damage buff from this, as opposed to 3, which doesn't sound that crazy, but trust me, it's going to make a... I don't want to say a massive difference, but it's going to make a difference, right? You have to swap out one less time, which is actually pretty good, because that's essentially like, 15 to 20 counts. So, applies the following effects to enemy when they perform a vanishing step while this character is on the battlefield. Reduce ki by 20. I'm trying to find where this is, actually. Hold on. Reduce ki by 20. Inflicts attribute downgrade minus 10%. To strike and blast arts power for 10 counts. That, of course, is new. That was not on here at all. So actually, in this day and age, it's pretty rare to see completely new mechanics added to the existing unique abilities of these characters when they get a Zenkai. So that's actually pretty rare that he has just a brand new, like basically a new line in his unique ability here. I mean, it's not crazy, but I'll take it. And then he restores own health by 5% after enemy attack is over. Activates 6 times. That goes up from 4 times. Honestly, I'm gonna continue saying what I said yesterday. I don't think this needs to be limited. Like, just have it be unlimited times. But obviously 6 is better than 4, so. Alright, the overwhelming power level. Reduces damage received by 30% for 3 timer counts when enemy uses a special move, ultimate, or awaken arts card. Okay, that's the same. Applies the following effects self upon landing a strike or a blast arts hit. Draws a strike arts card, activates once. That is the same. Restores ki by 5. That's the same. 15% of special move damage inflicted for 20 counts. That is the same as well. And then when his health reaches 0, restores own health by 20%. That's obviously the same. It's just endurance. Okay, and then everything else here is new. Reduce enemy ki by 30. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 20 to all arts cost for 10 counts. Cancels all enemies attribute upgrades and buff effects. Okay, that's pretty good actually when his endurance is activated. And then looks like he has the exact same anti-revive mechanic, which I didn't think they'd touch because they didn't touch Sword of Hope Trunks' one either. All right, and here we have the new unique abilities here. We have Peerless Elite, applies the following effects to enemy when changing cover. Randomly destroys 1 card, and then seals 1 card slot randomly for 5 counts, and then he seals Rising Rush for 10 timer counts. Activates twice. So this is point number 1 that I mentioned in my video yesterday, and the reason why I wanted him to have some kind of disruptability on cover change is because this character does not have any special cover changes. Nothing against strikes, nothing against blasts, nothing like that. When you are using a character right now at a high level in PvP and you don't have a coverage range, you're just instantly going to be at a disadvantage. So the fact that they at least gave him some form of disrupt and value for cover changing with is very good. And I actually think I like this better even than you know who I talked about this with? I talked about this with the Boo duo, the Z Boo duo, because the Vegeta side of the Boo duo do this as well, and I think it's actually a pretty powerful mechanic. Instead of just killing 2 cards, he's killing 1 card and then he's sealing another card. Right, we're starting to see the eminence of characters that are just more and more getting the anti-card destruction mechanic. So obviously sealing a card slot in a lot of instances is just going to be better than killing the card. We have characters that have so much card draw speed as well that killing cards doesn't really matter a lot of times. And so if you're able to just like basically clog their hand up with sealed card slots, they can't really play the game. Sealing card slots is I think it's a lot more of a toxic mechanic than killing cards. And honestly, I'm not really a huge fan of the card sealing mechanic, but it is a very strong ability. So yeah, that's a pretty strong disrupt mechanic for this guy. Applies the following effects to enemy after changing cover. Minus 20% to health restoration, 15 counts, then minus 1 card draw speed as well. Wow. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I didn't think they'd give him minus card draw speed. The only thing they're missing on this is going to be key reduction, but that's pretty good. Minus card draw speed, and he's killing a card, and he's sealing a card, and he's sealing rush. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, next one we have Combat Genius. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. 25% to strike arts damage inflicted. Strike arts damage inflicted. I actually don't know what that means. Well, I know what it means, but I don't think we've had another character with this mechanic before. You know what? Hold on a second. I think this is important to talk about because whenever we get these like first time mechanics in the game, it oftentimes leads to obviously more and more characters down the road getting these kinds of mechanics. I just want to pull up a character here. I believe we have seen, obviously we've seen this. Yeah, here we go. Hold on. I'm actually going to switch over to Chrome real quick. Give me 1 second. So I'm taking a look here at Purple Power Awakening Piccolo. Obviously, he's not the only character who does this, but he's the first one that came to mind. He has plus 100% to the next Blast Arts damage inflicted, but this is only active for 1 card. This 100% to the next Blast Arts damage inflicted. Whereas with Vegeta, let me go back to Vegeta over here. Obviously, it's going to be permanent, right? He enters the battlefield and he's getting 25% to strike arts damage inflicted and then 25% to blast arts damage inflicted, right? That's obviously different than 25% to strike damage or 25% to blast damage. So I'm actually wondering, yes, it's only 25% here, but is this calculated separately from just having it being normal damage? I don't know how this works. This could either be really, really bad or it could be pretty good. So we'll have to test them out and see. It's going to be tough to really tell the difference because we're not going to be in a setting where we can like test them out without this and then with it. But this is interesting because again, this is not a very common sentence to see on characters. I don't think we've ever seen a character that has this on them that lasts for the entire time. Again, we see characters like Power Awakening Piccolo who have it active, but it's only for the first time they enter the battlefield. Of course, we also have characters like, if you guys remember, Green Angel Golden Frieza is the one that comes to mind first with this. But with his Z ability, he gives 3% to blast arts damage inflicted by Universe Survival Saga characters. That's basically what this is, but it's obviously a lot higher than 3%. So this is interesting. This is a sort of new thing that we're seeing here. Then he gets 30% to own key recovery. Cannot be stacked. He had key recovery elsewhere, didn't he? Did he? Maybe he didn't. Yeah, maybe he didn't actually. Okay, so that's good. Just extra key recovery is always nice to have. Inflicts enemy that should be downgrade +5 to strike and blast or its cost for 10 counts. Sure, I mean, it's extra disrupt, I'll take it. The following effects occur according to the number of timer counts elapsed from battle start. 10 counts, he gets -3 to own arts cost. 25 counts, he gets, oh, there it is, card draw speed. Yeah, this is basically the number 2 thing I wanted on this character. Because he doesn't, sure, this guy has an ability where you can draw cards. Where is it? Yeah, draws a strike card next after you land a strike or a blast card, but you can't just be reliant on that in this meta right now. So the fact that he's going to get card draw speed here is really, really good. I would have hoped that it was not tied to a certain number of timer counts elapsing, because now we're sort of getting into like Evolution Blue Vegeta territory, which we know how bad that is, but it's only 25 counts, so it's not that bad. 40 counts elapsed, inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade -5% to strike and blast arts power, and inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade -25% to special move, ultimate, and awakened arts power. Okay. That's just permanent? Sounds like it's permanent. You know what would be cool? If they made it uncancelable. Uncancelable debuffs. That's pretty good though, because it's gonna just stay on them forever. It doesn't say that it has a time limit on it, right? So it's gonna stay on them forever until they remove it. And then 60 counts, restores own health by 20%, and 20% to damage inflicted by allies. Effect activates even if this character is defeated. And there we go. That is the number 3 thing that I talked about that I hope this Vegeta would have. So I think this is the first time where I literally called essentially every single thing the Zenkai character was going to get. This is basically like how I would design this character, Zenkai Awakening. Like this is literally exactly what I talked about in my video yesterday. There's no difference. So I needless to say, I'm very, very happy with the way that they designed this character. I feel like he should be very effective, actually. I think I'm really looking forward to using this character in the showcase. So that's Vegeta. Of course, we also have the free-to-play Final Form Frieza. By the way, we do now know that this guy is the Frieza Saga version of Frieza. So I'm not sure if that really means anything, but yeah. Obviously, Frieza Saga is his episode. He is on Frieza Forest, Transforming Warrior, Lineage of Evil, Powerful Opponent, and Event Exclusive. Let's take a look at these stats. He is a melee type character. We're going to have to subtract around, again, 8,000 from all the stats here. So he's going to have high 250s in terms of his strike attack. He has terrible blast. This is like really bad, like mid 230s. But then in terms of defenses, they're actually looking pretty good. High 170 for strike, and then blast defense is going to be mid 170s. Not bad for a free character. I'll take those defenses. Normal strike and a blast. The blue card is the Death Ball. Deals major explode damage. 45% is a lot. The special move damage inflicted for 3 counts. And then on hit, he destroys 2 cards and he reduces Dragon Balls by 1. That's actually very annoying. Ever since the update where they reduced the Dragon Ball rate on cards, Dragon Ball destruction has become a lot more valuable, so that's good. And then you just have telekinesis. I'm assuming this guy is just going to be a copy and paste of the original yellow Final Form Frieza from like 1990. It's just like the second banner of all time. Yeah, I think. Well, it's like the 3rd banner in the game ever that released is basically what this Frieza is going to be. Okay, so telekinesis. Oh, it cancels enemies' attribute upgrades and buff effects. Yeah, that's really, really strong. And the reason why it's really good is because if you have an enemy character who is immune to having themselves get immobilized by this. So, for example, if Blue 17 is on the team, a lot of times he will he applies that like one-time immunity effect to all allies on your team. And they won't be able to get immobilized by this. But if you use this, because it's on activation, you actually can remove that buff and end up immobilizing them anyway. So this is actually pretty good. And then on hit, he is drawing a blue card. He's immobilizing the enemy, sealing a card for 10 counts. That's a long time. That's really, really annoying. Okay, sure. But the fact that this is endlessly going to draw a blue card. There's no limit on that. So that's certainly interesting. A lot of blue card spam, I guess, with this character. Main ability is going to be the Fearsome Grasp. Draw a special move arts card next. Okay, so more blue card draws. He gets 50 key, 30% damage inflicted for 30 timer counts. Randomly destroys 3 enemy cards. I'm not really a huge fan of killing cards on main ability, except in certain situations. It can be useful sometimes, but it's not really that great. And then inflicts all enemy with attribute downgrade +5 to subcount for 10 counts. Now, keep in mind, this is not going to add 5 subcounts to all enemies right away. It means that when they switch in and then they switch out, they're going to have 15 counts before they can switch in as opposed to 10. That's what that is. C ability is 33% to Frieza Force, Vent exclusive, powerful opponent, strike, attack, and defense. All right. And then the unique ability is going to be Tremendous Nightmare. 30% to damage inflicted against Tag Saiyan. All right, obviously pretty common tag there. And then when the battle starts, he gets 90% damage inflicted, 65% reduces damage received. Would like it to be 70, but sure. 50% to key recovery, card draw speed, and then -15 to special move arts cost. That's a pretty solid base array of abilities mechanics there. I'll take that for a free character. Also applies the following effects to allies. If there is a tag event exclusive, tag Frieza Force, or tag powerful opponent battle member other than this character in the party. 10% to damage inflicted for 60 counts. Why can't that just be the full time? Why does it have to be 60? 20% to key recovery for 60 counts, which is cancelable for some reason. And then gradually restores health each timer count for 60 counts. So he's going to be applying the healing effect to the entire team. That's interesting. Okay. Applies the following effects to self every time this character uses a strike or a blast arts card, so it doesn't even have to land it, just use it. Draws a strike arts card next, activates once. Activation count resets if the character switches. Okay. It's actually very similar to the Grade 8 Vegeta one we just saw. Restores health by 3% and ki by 5, plus 10% to strike damage inflicted for 10 timer counts, and then 10% to special move damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Okay, so he's stacking strike damage and special move damage. Yeah, this character is literally going to do 0 blast damage. It's actually insane. A little blast damage will do. All right. The second unique ability, the Will Breaking Intimidation. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. Reduces enemy ki by 15. All right, not a ton. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade. Oh, -1 card draw speed for 5 counts. That's good. Whenever we get minus card draw speed abilities, they're always pretty valuable. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 15% of damage received for 20 counts. Applies the following effects to self if there's a defeated battle member. Restores ki by 20. This is upon entry, right? Yeah. 20 ki, 20% damage inflicted permanently. Sure. Applies the following effects to allies depending on the number of timer counts elapsed from battle start. 20 counts is 10% damage inflicted for 40 counts. Why are these timed like this? Why can't they just be permanent buffs? And then 20% key recovery for 40 counts. 40 counts elapsed, 10% to damage inflicted for 20 counts. Cannot be canceled. And then restores health by 10%. Restores health by 10%. I mean, that's actually pretty good. It's team heal. 40 counts. Okay, sure. Applies the following effects to self once 50 timer counts have elapsed from battle start. 60% to damage inflicted. That's obviously just only to himself. -5 to arts cost, and then he gets another level of card draw speed. So he'll have double. So after 50 counts elapse, he'll have double card draw speed. I think after 50 counts have elapsed, this character's actually looking pretty good. He'll have a lot of damage. Yeah, he's gonna have a lot of damage, plus the extra damage to Saiyans, plus all the extra key recovery. Unfortunately, he does not have any way to get cover nullification, but he seems like a decent free-to-play character. I would say he's not even close to as good as the Piccolo we just got. But this guy seems pretty decent. Nothing crazy. Okay, let's move on to equipment. That's my team I'm going to use for Vegeta. Let's go to the archive. I think we should also have a new Awakened equipment this week as well. All right, I saw that there was a new unique equip. That's not in there. Should be down here. I think it was from the collection. Yeah, there it is. All right, so this is for Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan and Universe Survival Saga. A very specific equipment. Okay, so 10% health restoration to slot 1, 25% to both offenses, and then base key recovery 25%, and then 20% to damage inflicted if this character is element yellow. I wonder who they want you to use this on. This is obviously for Ultra Blue Kaioken Goku. Actually, hold on a second. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, Universe Survival Saga. I don't think Evolution Blue Vegeta has the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan tag, but let me just check. Universe Survival Saga. I don't... Does he have it? Oh, he does. You can actually give this to Evolution Blue Vegeta. Huh. Okay, so this guy can use it. And that's, I think, it. Him and then Blue Kaioken Goku get the major benefit out of it. Okay, I mean, sure. So this is kind of the second iteration of these equipments that we've seen now, because obviously this is... It's a pseudo-unique equipment for Blue Kaioken Goku is what this is. We saw the same exact thing with the equipment that they released for Broly, which should be like right next to it. This one. Right, 20% damage inflicted if this character is a powerful opponent, and it's for sagas from the movies in Super Saiyan. Like, obviously that's for Broly, right? So I guess this is sort of the path they want to go down in terms of giving Ultra characters unique equipments. They want to still give other characters the option to use the equipment. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'm not using this if I'm not getting the extra damage. This is not that good of an equipment unless you're getting the 20% damage. Then it's good. In terms of if this is going to save Blue Kaioken Goku, like, is all of a sudden, are you going to be seeing surges, a resurgence of Ultra Blue Kaioken Goku in PvP? The answer is no. No, you are not. It's like... It's like the what is it like the 50 Cent car meme where like he laughs and drives away. That's kind of what I'm doing looking at this. Like they really think this is going to make a difference in terms of how useful that Blue Kaioken Goku is? No way. That Blue Kaioken Goku at this point is not useful because of his damage. He's useful because of that ridiculously toxic strike card lock mechanic. That's the reason. This isn't really going to boost that character's performance that much to the level where he's going to be used, but okay, I mean, I can at least be on board with this, sure. And then we should have a new... Here we go, this Vegeta one. So this is going to be for Powerful Opponent and Saiyan. Okay, so Broly's can also use this. Goku Blacks can also use this. All right, that's good. Base strike defense 25%, base strike attack 20%. And then slot 3 has 3 stats. Okay, we have 12% strike, 12% blast attack, and then health restoration 12%. You guys know what I'm going to say about this. Just remove the blast attack and put on like 8% HP in slot 3. Boom. Instantly insane. As it stands right now, it seems fine. There's no pure stats on this at all, which doesn't necessarily mean the equipment is going to be bad, but I would just call this fine. This is going to be an equipment where you grind 1, and that's it. Yeah, I don't know. This is not jumping off of the screen at me. So you're getting 32% strike attack. You're getting 25% strike defense, 12% blast attack, and then 12% health restoration. It's just a bunch of stats. Like this is not doing anything super special here. It's fine, right? It is a very what's the best way to describe this? It's just, I don't know. It's not special, right? Actually, a pretty comparable equipment to this is the Jiren one that we got last time, but this one's actually good. This is giving you like special move damage, which is a stat that you're not seeing all the time on equipment. This is giving you base health, which of course is ridiculous, and it's more targeted towards certain types of characters, in this case a ranged character, which is honestly probably the path you want to go down with equipment these days. Is you don't want to have like, oh yeah, I'm getting some strike attack, I'm getting some blast attack, and then I'm getting some strike defense, and I'm getting some blast. Like, you don't want just these equips that are giving like everything like this, unless they're also giving health. That's like the one exception. But the reason why this equip is so good is because it's hyper focusing on one stat, which is typically how you build teams these days, and it's giving you health, and it's giving you a special stat like special move damage, which you don't see too often. This is this has to be the model for how they design equips moving forward, I think. This is kind of just okay. Like, I don't really even ever see a time where I'm going to be using this, to be honest with you. It doesn't need to have blast attack on it. I don't really understand why it has that. So, there we go. This was a bit of a longer breakdown video, but we actually did have a decent amount of stuff to cover it here. Let me know down below what you guys think of the Zenkai for LF Grade 8 Vegeta and the incoming free-to-play Final Form Frieza. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.